Darth, Theorist, rise.
What if the Jedi streamed Palpatine's arrest on the Holonet? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. The halls of the Senate building are unusually quiet at this time, something that serves the Jedi strike team well as they march through the corridors. Their purpose is clear: to arrest Palpatine and expose him for the Sith he is. While they are certain of what must be done, it does not stop doubt and uncertainty from creeping into the minds of their fellow masters. To arrest the Chancellor is a bold move, especially when they do not have the rest of the Jedi Council to support them. More importantly, how can they explain this to the Senate? While they know for certain that Palpatine is a practitioner of the dark side, they have no proof to present to them. Even if they win, they may be condemned as traitors. While Mace has no worries of what the Senate thinks of him, it may inadvertently accomplish exactly what Palpatine wants. For that reason, as they approach the staircase, Master Fisto breaks off and descends the stairs while the rest of them continue on their way to meet the Chancellor. Kit jogs down the steps, making his way over to the chambers of Bail Organa, who is preparing to leave for the Senate meeting. The senator looks at him in surprise, but bows his head.
Master Jedi, I'm pleased to see you, but unfortunately, I do not have time to talk. There is a Senate meeting I must attend. Indeed, that is why I wish to speak to you. There is a matter of great importance I must discuss with you prior to this meeting. My fellow Jedi and I believe that Chancellor Palpatine is hiding something from you, and here is all the evidence you require.
He reaches into his belt and pulls out a holodisc, which he places in the senator's hands. Although confused, Bail takes the device and invites the Jedi to accompany him. As the meeting begins, more than a few senators question Kit Fisto's presence, but when the floor is handed over to him, he ignores those stares.
I come to you not as a general, but a Jedi who senses the darkness growing in the Republic. We have gladly supported our mission to defeat the Separatists and Count Dooku. Today I fear the growing darkness within our Republic. I have received information from a reliable source that our very Chancellor might be compromised.
As he says this, a chorus of angry cries rises from the crowds. Senators from countless systems, affiliations, and species condemn the Jedi. They call him a traitor and accuse him of treason. Others demand to know why he would say such things. He doesn't answer right away, but instead nods to Bail, who activates his repulsor pod and approaches the podium. There, he reaches for the holodisc and slides it into the holotank. Kit Fisto holds his breath and wonders if he has made a grave mistake by doing this. His entire body tenses up as he watches it flicker to life. But the sight that greeted him was not at all what he was expecting. When the hologram lights up, it displays the Chancellor's office where Palpatine stands. He has a lightsaber in his hands and defends against a series of strikes from Mace. The Senate gasps as the Jedi Master comes from one side, his lightsaber striking at him. Palpatine intercepts each blow and then throws Mace back with the Force. At his feet, Ajen Kalar, CC-Teen. They lay dead. Kit's heart clenches at the sight of his fallen friends, but he takes solace in the fact that they had partially succeeded in their mission and exposed Palpatine.
There's your proof. Look at the man you call the Chancellor and see how he fights not as a politician, but one trained in the Force. Yet does he look like a Jedi now?
The answer is an emphatic no, and many shake their heads, horrified and stunned at what they see.
Chancellor, what is the meaning of this?
At last, they get the Chancellor's attention, and Palpatine freezes, his eyes widening as he stares at the holodisc on the ground, having slipped from Master Kalar's hand. He sees Bail Organa and the Senate podium, which can only mean that the entire Senate is watching. As that thought crosses his mind, Mace leaps up from behind the table and slashes at him. Although he managed to intercept that strike, the blow sends Palpatine skidding back. His mind is no longer able to fully focus on his fight. Instead, it is racing, as it considers everything that's happening. His cover is blown, and that means he cannot afford to stay here. The doors slide open, and Anakin appears, looking at the carnage in shock, eyes turning to Palpatine, and then to Mace.
Master, what happened here?
There is no time for either to react. Mace tries to take his head with a backswing, but Palpatine jerks his head back and gives ground towards the window. When he tries to bring his lightsaber in a downward stroke, Palpatine is moving. He doesn't just avoid the attack, but leaps atop the building. The Jedi looks outside and sees the Chancellor sliding down the roof of the building. As he descends, Palpatine activates his wristcom and calls for his personal ship, which flies to his position and catches him. Mace shouts for someone to follow him as Palpatine activates a command code on his comlink.
All clone commanders, execute Order 66.
Just as Mace is about to follow, a squad of clones appears to block his path. He's about to order them to go after the Chancellor when they open fire. Thankfully, he has his lightsaber out and manages to intercept their strikes and push them back with the Force.
Just what are you doing here, Skywalker? I was here to check up on you. I knew this mission was dangerous, so I couldn't leave you here alone. That is not for you to decide, young one. I gave you an order to stay behind. Now we must find the Chancellor.
He says nothing more as he runs off, leaving Anakin to chase after him. His heart hammers into his chest as he realizes that if he had arrived earlier, he might have been exposed for treason. Meanwhile, several clones in the Senate Rotunda also appear and fire at Kit, but the Jedi manages to leap aside and escape to a nearby hallway. His relief only lasts a moment, though, as an overwhelming pain shoots through him and brings the Jedi to his knees. He clutches his temple and feels an overwhelming pain across his body. It is like a stab in the Force and leaves him gasping for air. Kit tries to make sense of it, reaching into the Force and beseeching it to understand. But the sights that greet him are worse than anything he's ever seen. All across the Jedi are being cut down by their own men. He watches them halt, sometimes in the middle of battles, to gun down their Jedi generals. He sees friends, students, and mentors all cut down in cold blood, many before they have a chance to react. It forces Kit to his knees as two clones approach him and take aim, their blasters pointed down at him. Shots ring out, but to the Jedi's surprise, the troopers fall to the ground as Bail approaches, his guards carrying smoking blasters.
It is chaos, Master. There are reports of friendly fire incidents all over the galaxy, all targeted towards the Jedi. Then it is not friendly fire. What is going on? I'm speaking to the Senate now. In the meantime, you must get out of here. It is not safe for you.
Kit nods and leaves the senator behind as more soldiers appear. The clones try to brush past them, but Bail blocks their path with his guards and draws himself up.
What is the meaning of this, Commander?
Sir, we have urgent business. We have no time for this.
No time? You bring violence into the halls of the Senate and say you cannot explain yourself? How are we so sure this is not some coup attempt?
Very well. We were given orders commanding us to hunt down the Jedi. We have received word that they are traitors.
Traitors? By whom?
The Chancellor, sir.
That is enough for Bail. Although he tries to order the clones to stop, it is as if they are in a trance and there is no stopping them. Reluctantly, he lets them go but hurries back to the Senate to relay everything he heard. Somehow, Palpatine has managed to convince the clones to turn against their Jedi masters. When they hear this, the Senate is stunned, but they manage to repeal the order through a vote, and fresh orders are sent to the clones. As commanders begin to receive this news, they start to stand down, but the damage is done. Hundreds of Jedi are now dead across the galaxy, and the rest are left in disarray. No one truly knows what happened, and the Senate is focused on learning just how Palpatine managed to accomplish this. Meanwhile, the Jedi are concerned about hunting down and bringing him to justice. Though many remain distrustful of the clones, they have no choice but to put their faith in them to hunt down the Chancellor. Palpatine is focused on getting off-world and tries to escape with his personal starship. However, his deceit is uncovered far faster thanks to that recording. The clones who escort him to safety soon turn against him. Although they order him to halt, the Chancellor keeps going, trying to outrun his escort. This causes two fighters to break off and open fire upon him. One stray bolt hits his wing and leaves the ship careening off course. Despite the Chancellor's efforts to try and correct it, he cannot, and it disappears into the void below. When news reaches the Jedi, they organize a massive manhunt, gathering as many knights as they can while a frigate looms overhead, scanning the area and calculating the trajectory of the ship. Unfortunately, it does not simply disappear into one of the buildings. It disappears straight down into the depths of Coruscant. That means the Jedi must find Palpatine, or proof of his demise within the lowest depths of the planet. Mace volunteers to lead this expedition, and is accompanied by Kit Fisto. To their surprise, Anakin wishes to volunteer and join this group. Mace initially wants to refuse the young Jedi, but Kit disagrees.
He could be useful down there. And besides, our numbers are badly depleted. We cannot exactly afford to turn down recruits, especially ones as experienced as him. He disobeys orders, and that is a best-case scenario. What do you mean? I mean, isn't it strange he happened to come in during the fight just as I was about to defeat Palpatine, even after I ordered him to stay in the Jedi Temple? Are you surprised that Anakin Skywalker would disobey orders? I'm not surprised he did. I'm curious as to why he did it. There always seems to be a reason in his madness, and I want to know why he chose to disobey now. He says he wishes to help, but I'm wondering just who exactly he's hoping to help in this matter. By taking him with us, we gamble to see whether he might be compromised. We always take that gamble with each Jedi we accept, but few are as distinguished and respected as young Skywalker. If you have your concerns, let me talk to him then.
He excuses himself from the war room and approaches the young Jedi privately. Anakin is in his chambers, deeply conflicted with everything, and tries to clear his head. Mace's suspicions were closer to the truth than either of them realized. In truth, Anakin had been conflicted and seriously considered trying to intervene in favor of Palpatine. He had hoped to keep him alive, at least so he could learn the forbidden techniques he spoke of. And yet, when he saw the broadcast and how Mace was winning, he hesitated. To intervene would only bring attention and more questions. That is why he asked to be part of this expedition. It could help him get answers from Palpatine, and if things went well, it could also help him keep everything quiet. When the door opens, Kit Fisto steps out, and Anakin bows his head to him.
Master, what is Mace Windu's answer? We are still discussing the matter. He does have some concerns about your presence, young one. It was not long ago that you were taken with spying on the Chancellor. That is why I can help. No one knows him as well as I. I can help you track him down. That is certainly true, but we also made you the Jedi's spy because of that knowledge. That and your closeness. Both of those things can be true at once, so we must ask if you can guarantee those feelings will not get in the way. Master, I cannot guarantee that. How can you expect me to say such a thing? He's been my friend for longer than I've been a part of the Jedi Order. Am I just supposed to forget that?
He expects a harsh rebuke, but instead is surprised to find a calm hand on his shoulder and a smile from the Jedi Master.
I don't expect anything from you. I don't ask this from you as an admission of weakness, but a show of strength. To understand what you are and aren't capable of, young one. I had respected the Chancellor too. I thought he was a good man. I know it is difficult to see him as anything different. If you cannot do this, it doesn't diminish who you are. I'm not sure. I want to believe I'm no longer beholden to myself, but I still have so many questions. I think by doing this, I might get some closure. The Jedi are not supposed to form attachments, not just with those we care for, but also with our enemies. If this can get you closure, that is one way to deal with it. So let me ask you this. Are you prepared to find out?
To the Jedi's surprise, Kit offers a hand to help him to his feet. Anakin hesitates, but then takes it. Palpatine stirs in the wreckage, blood filling his mouth as the dark side coils through him and lends him its strength as he drags himself upright. Looking around, there are no city lights, no traffic lanes, only dripping pipes, collapsed ferrocrete, and the smell of rot. A shriek splits the silence. Claws scrape stone. Pale shapes crawl into view. Corridor ghouls that are commanded by a Thon, which lumbers forward. Palpatine bares his teeth and ignites his saber. The ghouls rush him first. One falls in two with a shriek, another gutted by a backhand strike. The Thon smashes its claws down and charges. Palpatine thrusts out his hand and cracks his bones. Yet he tries to lumber forward. Palpatine obliges and jerks him forward into his waiting lightsaber. As he stumbles out of his ship, he immediately sees it. Before him sprawls a graveyard of ships. Hulks from Forgotten Wars, Republic frigates of the old Sith Wars, Mandalorian cruisers, even Rakatan hulls. In these ruins, Palpatine senses power. Something pulses among them. A throb of energy, faint but undeniable, like a heartbeat echoing through the Force.
Yes, the dark side leads me.
He stumbles forward, weaving between the dead ships. More creatures rise to meet him. Packs of corridor ghouls pull through the holes, shrieking. A Corsani ogre tears loose a rusted beam and swings it like a club. Palpatine laughs as he cuts through them, letting his anger fuel him and carry him forward. As he advances deeper, he senses something more, a strangeness in their behavior. They are not attacking like simple animals, but coordinating their strikes. Some packs he intentionally avoids, comes rushing to meet him, as if they are defending something. It only intrigues him further as he pushes further into the ruins. And in the shadows of the large ships, Palpatine spots a shattered Sith war barge, blackened by age. Its hull is ringed with bones, not only human, but beast. Inside, the air hums with hunger. Runes carved in iron glisten faintly. In the shrine at its heart rests a relic, a talisman of black metal, its surface crawling with Sith script, a serpent motif twisting across its face. Its aura fills the chamber, thick with malice. As he picks it up, a wave of force power explodes from the room, blasting out through the ruined windows. It is strong enough to knock him over. When Palpatine climbs to his feet, he sees a small Tauzen drop from the ceiling, its insectoid body writhing. More ogres bellow and bow before him. Packs of ghouls swarm in frenzy. The creatures shudder and fall to their knees. The Thon drags itself forward, pressing its massive skull to the floor. Corridor ghouls crawl and grovel. Palpatine straightens, the talisman burning in his palm, its power seeping into his flesh. His pain evaporates. In its place surges strength and excitement.
At last, I have my army, my people. You were all cast aside by those above and banished to this place. But join me, and I shall lead you back to the surface.
The monsters howl their obedience. Darth Sidious laughs, reborn as master of the depths. But in another sector, the Jedi ship begins to descend. They follow the location of the crash site and immediately deploy soldiers to secure the area. Heavily armored clones accompanied by Jedi Masters form a perimeter as they search for any sign of Palpatine inside. Unfortunately, there is no sign of him, as Palpatine instead observes from a ruined tower and smiles. He taps his amulet and begins summoning creatures to begin their attack. Corridor ghouls rush to meet them, only to face the firing lines of clones who form up to beat them back. However, a hulking ogre swings a cudgel made from durasteel and throws men aside. When he tries the same with Anakin, the Jedi leaps over him and decapitates the beast. However, this is just the beginning, as more creatures come after them. They move in coordinated waves, striking together and not bunching up to present difficult targets. The Jedi step forward, but they are not entirely focused on the battle. Many watch the clones behind them, glancing back at them warily as if worried they might turn on them next. Those who do pay dearly for it, as their opponents seize the moment to attack. Claws flash and rake across them while others are swarmed by attackers. The clones hold off for a time, trying their best to support them, but without someone to keep the beasts back, they soon come under attack and suffer badly for it. The only thing that saves them is Mace and Kit Fisto, who leaps down from the gunship and cuts through the monsters. With a force shockwave, they throw creatures back and send them flying, giving their troops a chance to rally.
Something isn't right. These creatures, they aren't mindless. Something is controlling them. We must figure out how.
At the moment, I would settle first with being able to just drive them back.
He ducks under an ogre strike and watches as it raises its club. Before it can bring it down, a shape darts behind it and takes its head. Anakin appears, lightsaber ready, as he raises it to rally the Jedi. Unlike the others who retreat, Anakin plunges into the thickest of fighting, where his lightsaber acts as a beacon, cutting through these creatures left and right. While it is a welcome sight, Kit notices how aggressive the young one is. He is merciless, cutting through their hides even as some begin to back away from the fight and retreat. Kit watches this, frowning as he notices how aggressive Anakin is. He nearly loses himself as the last of these beasts retreat, yet the Jedi continues to pursue them. He would follow them to finish hunting them down, the anger within him threatening to overpower him. However, Kit pulls him back and shakes his head. Though he wishes to keep going, he feels the anger threatening to get the better of him. With all the uncertainty in his mind now, the monsters here provide the perfect outlet for his rage. Yet, when he looks at Master Fisto's face, he relents. For now. With the monsters driven back for now, the expedition sets up camp and prepares its next move. However, this whole situation leaves them divided. Already some are questioning why they should continue. The losses they suffered were considerable, and they barely got started. If Palpatine did survive the crash, there is no chance he would have survived in a place like this. Others favor going on, until they can find something that can confirm what happened. As they debate what should happen next, tempers begin to flare as each side accuses the other of treachery. It starts off as debate, but soon turns more volatile as one of the clone commanders accuses the Jedi of wanting their soldiers to get killed in this situation. The Jedi counter and say that some of the clones are waiting to betray them again. Kit observes this unfolding and shakes his head as the divisions in their forces grow. Although Order 66 was halted, they still have no idea what's going on, and the investigation that Bail Organa is proposing will still take weeks before they can get clear evidence of what is going on. Until then, no one truly understands what's happening, and this leaves tensions simmering. But while they are about to go, Anakin slams his fist on the table and shakes his head, glaring at the people and daring anyone to oppose him.
The Chancellor has betrayed the Republic. He plotted to create an empire and nearly did. So long as he lives, he will be a threat to the Republic. I won't go anywhere until I have proof that Palpatine is gone.
And why is it that you're so eager to find the Chancellor Skywalker?
The same reason you want to, Master Windu. I want justice. I want to learn the truth.
We will only learn the truth if you follow orders and obey.
The two men glare at one another. It shouldn't normally be anything new, as the two often butt heads, yet this time things look different. There is more fire in their eyes, and they actually look like they will come to blows. Kit Fisto steps between them and shakes his head. He glares at the two of them.
That is enough, my friends. Our goal is to find Palpatine. We all share that goal, so let us not forget that fact. If we do, then it won't matter what happens. The Sith will win.
The Jedi camp is broken before first light ever reaches this depth. Clones shoulder their rifles in silence, helmets turning nervously at every distant howl. As they march deeper, the ruins close in, collapsed towers, shattered walkways, and ancient ships fused into walls like bones in a grave. The monsters never stop. Packs of corridor ghouls dart from cracks in the ferrocrete, their shrieks echoing off rusted metal. A Corsani ogre bellows as it hurls a slab of stone, scattering the scouts. Clones fire back at them, but it is the Jedi who hold the line. Mace striking ferocity while Kit protects the injured, and Anakin carves through the attackers, guided by his ferocity. The clones murmur uneasily, watching as Anakin cuts through their ranks, and they look at him warily. They trust their generals, but the memory of Order 66 lingers like poison in their thoughts. Though they regret their actions, some of them glance at the Jedi warily. Some think the Jedi might turn against them. Others worry that the Jedi might search for revenge. They clutch their rifles too tightly. Little do they realize, Palpatine's talisman gnaws at them all. A psychic whisper sowing division, feeding on recent betrayal. The same is true for the Jedi, who are also growing distrustful of their clones and wonder whether the clones simply did this because they were controlled or because they wanted to. For Anakin, the whispers are louder. At first, they sound like Palpatine, calm, familiar, reassuring. Then the voice deepens, twisting into something older. They are voices of Sith long dead, riding the currents of the talisman's power, and yet what they promise is just as tantalizing.
You seek to save her. We can give you the power to halt death itself. Padme need never leave you. You need never lose again.
Anakin clenches his fists, jaws tight as he tries to shut them out, but every step deeper makes the voices clearer. They drip into his thoughts like poison, turning his anger into hunger. Mace notices his restlessness but says nothing. He senses it too, but presses deeper, knowing that power is undoubtedly Palpatine. Kit watches more closely. He sees the tension in Anakin's strikes, the way he lingers too long in the fight. He doesn't fight for survival like everyone else, but for bloodlust.
Your strength is great, Anakin, but strength without balance is only a chain. Strength is all I have now. It is all that will carry us through this chaos. Do not sell yourself short, my boy. It wasn't your strength that made me decide to take you with us on this expedition. We have that from Mace. It is your passion, your heart. You fight with everything you have, not out of duty, but of purpose. In some ways, the Force flows more freely in you than anyone else. It sounds like the sort of thing Master Windu would fear. It is, and I am certain he does. It could lead you to the dark side, or it could have you surpass all others. As for me, I would like to see that gamble.
The party continues deeper still. The air grows heavier, the Force itself thrumming with malice. The clones whisper nervously. Some swear they hear voices in their helmets. Others dream waking visions of betrayal. And then they see it. At the edge of a crumbling causeway, the Undercity opens into a vast cavern. Fires burn in the distance, casting jagged shadows. Then gathered there, in impossible numbers, are the monsters of Coruscant's abyss. Thon lumbering, ghouls screeching, ogres bellowing, even massive Tauzen curling their segmented bodies through the ruin. All of them are drawn to a single point deeper within. The Jedi feel the pull instantly. The talisman's influence coils tighter, whispering promise, demanding,
He's here.
The level shudders with a low, grinding noise. At first, the clones think it's the roar of another beast and prepare for battle. But when they look at the gathering monsters, the truth is different. Several scouts zoom in and detect the movements coming from Tauzen buried through the ferrocrete and steel, caverning tunnels that snake upward. These aren't their usual patterns, but coordinated efforts to build tunnels.
They're tunneling. If they are not stopped, they'll reach the upper levels.
It may take months, but if Sidious controls them, he'll have time. And then his war will rise from below.
Then we stop him now.
But even as he says it, the scale of the horde becomes undeniable. Thon, ogres, ghouls, Tauzen, thousands of twisted shapes gathering, groveling toward the same dark point. To charge openly would be suicide.
We divide. Skywalker, Fisto, and I will cut our way to Sidious and tear the artifact from his hands. The rest will stay on higher ground and make diversions. Collapse walkways, rain fire, break the beast's focus.
The clones nod grimly, spreading to the ridges above, setting charges and stacking rubble for makeshift avalanches. The Jedi officers remain behind to provide support and oversee their efforts. For the moment, their own divisions are pushed aside for their common goal. The deeper the trio presses, the heavier the air becomes. The talisman's whisper digs into their minds. For Anakin, they are intimate. She dies in childbirth unless you take what we offer. Visions of Padme gasping for air flickering in his mind. The Jedi will not save her. We will. For Mace, the whispers drip venom. Skywalker will betray you, as he betrayed the Code. Strike him down now before he turns. He glares at Anakin, but for a heartbeat too long, fingers twitching toward his blade. Kit feels it too, the talisman gnawing at his thoughts, showing his fallen friends and those lost to war. It reminds him of the losses he has suffered, of the pain he's endured during the war. But he breathes, centers, resists. Where others falter, he steadies. He plants himself between them, voice calm, sharp. Slowly, they keep going, bringing themselves forward until they see him. Palpatine stands at the heart of the cavern, talisman blazing against his chest, beasts kneeling in concentric circles around him.
You come to me broken. You come as servants, not masters. Even now you crave what I hold. Padme need never die. One word, and I will teach you.
Padme? Skywalker, what is he talking about?
Power. I speak of power. Something you will never understand.
No, that's not true. Master Windu, he's trying to...
What else have you not been telling me?
Anakin trembles, torn between blade and bargain. But the talisman surges, and for a heartbeat he hesitates. Then Anakin readies his own lightsaber.
Do not act so innocent, Master. The Jedi have their own secrets.
Mace and Anakin whirl on each other, sabers half raised. And then the two clash, weapons flashing as the older Jedi turns against the younger. Their blades flash, and Anakin stumbles back. Mace is on him in an instant, hacking and hammering against him, leaving him stumbling through each blow. Kit moves to help, but movement from the corner of his eyes draws his attention as Palpatine lunges at him. Lightning crackles from his fingertips and sends the entire cavern shaking. Though he manages to block it, he is forced back a step. When the attack subsides, Palpatine is on him again, raining down attacks. When he tries to sweep back, Palpatine dances out of the way. Meanwhile, Anakin and Mace continue to clash, their blades raining down on each other as their anger bleeds out through every strike. Anakin snarls and throws a savage horizontal cut that throws Mace back. Despite his best efforts to absorb it, the older Jedi cannot hold back the attack and falls to the ground. Anakin prepares to finish him off, but Kit shouts, even as he parries another attack.
Anakin, follow your heart, not this corruption.
Anakin sees rage burning in his eyes, and he nearly pushes forward, but then he hesitates, looking at the Jedi Master, the one who had brought him here and guided him throughout this endeavor, who saw not corruption, but compassion. He sees Sidious, power dripping from every word. He sees Padme, dying, again and again. His heart pounds, and then he rejects it. Anakin's lightsaber flashes, but not at Mace. Instead, he lunges at Palpatine, who must break off his assault to avoid getting cut. The Chancellor staggers, but as he moves out of the way, he reaches out with the Force and pulls. The talisman rips free of the Sith's grasp. For an instant, it struggles, shrieking with ancient voices, but Anakin's fury crushes it. The relic shatters in his hand, exploding into shards of dead metal.
No. What have you done?
I have freed these beasts.
The cavern falls silent. The beasts howl, not in obedience, but in hunger and fury, now directed towards the one who had caused them so much pain. With the talisman destroyed, the chains snap. Thawne claws towards Palpatine. Corridor ghouls swarm him. Tausen coil and crush. His roar is lost beneath the frenzy as his own army turns on him.
We have to go.
Palpatine snarls, unleashing lightning at the first wave, but there are many more where they came from. They continue to swarm him, their claws flashing and raking flesh. He stumbles from the blows and continues to slash wildly, hacking through the beasts, but every attack leaves them weakening, and slowly he grows weaker until at last he is overwhelmed. In the meantime, the three Jedi cut a path back to the ridges, fighting through panic and fire. Some of their allies provide covering fire as the avalanche is loosed, crushing down on the horde, buying precious seconds, buying them time to escape as the rest of the beasts are too stunned to react. By the time they realize what's happening, the trio is halfway up the ridge. Once they reach the top, Anakin hears the Emperor's scream, rising above the beasts, but the dark side clouds all, and the sound fades into the abyss. Then he feels a hand on his shoulder.
Skywalker, thank you. Without you, this victory would not have been possible. You have my trust. It was long overdue. Thank you, Master Windu. Now, let's get out of here. It's a long way back to our campsite.
When they emerge from the abyss, they hear reports from the Senate. Bail Organa was elected the new Chancellor, and his investigation has revealed that the clones possessed inhibitor chips that caused them to act on the Chancellor's commands. While Mace Windu personally oversees their removal, Anakin decides to leave the Jedi Order. He's thought long and hard about what Kit Fisto told him, and decides to make this decision himself. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.